Hey everybody, it's Dave, Blue Jacket 66 here for a quick video. In this video, I am going to highlight, probably relatively quickly, the top 20 favorite cards, vintage sports cards in my collection. There's a lot of qualifiers with that. I'm not going to show, it's not based on value, and you know how cards are. They vary from week to week, day to day sometimes on what is your favorite. But I went through what I have here. These, in reality, are not probably all my favorite cards. Some of my very favorites are vaulted in Kansas City and always will be. And most of these cards, I think, if not all of them, I've shown on YouTube before, but it's been a long time. But I thought maybe you'd be interested in my order of my favorites, at least for right now. So that's going to be it. Maybe a little bit of talking points on why it's my favorite. Probably not a lot. I don't want to make this a too drawn out video. I don't really like doing top 10, top 50 videos. I don't think I've ever done one, but this isn't really a value one. Although in reality, if you're going to pay a lot of money, and some of these cards have value, if you're going to pay a lot of money, it's got to be a card you really, really are in love with. So in some ways, it does go hand in hand, value with favorites and whatnot, but not necessarily. So I think to get an idea of favorites and cards I like, I am going to show, as a starter, just some cards that I have out on my desk. This is a desk, my hobby desk right here. I'm sitting in front of all that's in back. Again, I've only been here since February and still about 10% set up. I don't know. So just as a little preview about what I like looking at, I'm going to go through what is just sitting out on my desk on stands for me to look at. I have a 62 post serial mantle sitting out. There's going to be glare. That's just the way I roll. That is sitting out. The Mars Attacks Destroying the Dog. I have that complete set. Not PSA graded, but I have the complete set. That is sitting out for me to enjoy. Also is a 76 Hostess Reggie Jackson. As is a 76 Hostess George Brett sitting out on my desk for me to just look at. Here is a recent acquisition, very recent, and I've never showed this before, my 1913 Fatima Cigarettes T200 Cleveland Indians card. This is in gorgeous condition. And you got Shoeless Joe Jackson over here and Lajway over here. Here's the back. Really condition sensitive card. They kind of have a cellulose type of glossy finish. They tend to get wrinkly or crinkly. Actually, I'm shocked at how beautiful. I mean, the black outline, the corners are dead sharp. Just if you look real closely, you'll see a couple, little crinkles in that shiny. But anyway, that is sitting out. So is my, I'll show this. My Brooklyn Dodgers picture pack rookie of Jackie. That's out. That tends to not move. That tends to stay there. Batman color 1966 in the back cockpit, about ready to take off for one of my favorite movie scenes when they're battling and that shark gets a hold of Batman and Robin. That's just funny. 1970 Top Super. I love this set. Collected this set as a kid. I shouldn't say I collected the set. Bought them in packs and 2 per pack. I think a dime with gum. And I was a 8-year-old opening these. And I have a real rare issue here of Frank Robinson, this Ohio Gas from 1957. It's blank back, it tends to stay out. Very rare. And one more thing out for my enjoyment is the 73 Wacky Packages, the Weekies. I definitely, when I was in the 6th and 7th grade, collected all the series. I have all the series except for the real tough series 16. I have series 1 through 15 on binders. including that, and I also have that real tough 1967 punch out. So those are that. So we're going to turn it around, and we're going to start with number 20 and go to 0 of my favorite vintage sports cards in my collection as of today. All right, I'll do my best to keep everything focused. Okay, number 20 is the 1962 Sugardale Wieners, Roberto Clemente. So I'm a food and beverage guy. Love all the food and regional issues, as most people know, of the 50s and 60s, primarily 50s. And this is a long time coming. It's a big card. As you can see, it is in comparison of just a regular card. So it's a big card. Found in Sugardale hot dogs, as you can see by all the staining. Really took me a long time to find this card. And since I found it and bought it several years ago, I've seen a couple more come up. One is in nicer condition, but with the hot dogs, I like the staining, and there's this nutty stamp over here for some reason. So that's it, 62 Sugardale Wieners. There was, I think, 61 Sugardale made a set as well, but Clemente wasn't in it. That's number 19. And number 20, number 19, drum roll, is my 75 Topps Mini George Brett in a 9. I got under the Christmas tree one year in the late 70s, the complete Topps Mini set from my dad. This wasn't the card that was in it, but since then I've really loved the minis. They're kind of regional, testy regional for the 75s up north, I think Minnesota and some other areas. But George Brett, I kind of hung out with him. I've told some stories on that in the mid 80s at TGIF Fridays. So that is number 19. Number 18 is my 58 Hires Root Beer test issue Willie Mays with the tab. It's in poor condition because right up here on this eye, you can see there's just a tiny tear there. It's not separated, but this thing is, there's only a couple of them. I get real nervous about even breaking this out because I'm just afraid that perforation just at some point it's gonna come loose. But 58 Hires Root Beer test issue with tab. Only a couple of those are known to exist. So that was 20, 18 here, 17. My 54 Briggs meat Willie Mays. I have the mantle too. But this one's really special, because the red border, there was 2 cards on the outer sleeve of the Briggs meat. So you got 2 cards. So you don't have to worry about hot dog staining or anything like that. It's certainly dirty and staining because it was a wrapper, but it wasn't actually in with the meats. But that's a cool card. I love that one. Number 16 is my 1933 Warsh Cigar Ruth. First made a go at one of these at a national, maybe 2015 or so. And I didn't get it and regretted it, and then prices skyrocketed. So I was thrilled to get this, I believe early last year. It says a 3 on it, but there's nowhere. I think at one point I saw maybe a tiniest wrinkle up there, but it is really beautiful looking. So the 33 Warsh cigar, that's an interesting set, in my opinion. Number 15, is that where we're at? It's by 50 Bowman Jackie. Just enjoy it. I enjoy this. Out of all the Robinson's cards, this is like It may be my favorite. So the 50 Jackie. Next, 14 is my 49 Bowman Page. I crudely have a price value on that, but it's really a nice card. Love that. Next, we'll say it's 14. I tend to get lost, but huge favorite of mine, the 54 Johnston Cookies, Aaron, and an 8. Really an underrated, it's valuable card and sought after, and relatively real low pops compared to the Topps 54, but these have jetted up in price, but not as much as I think as they deserve. So I think that was 14, if not, whatever. Next, I wonder if you guys have watched my videos and know my cards, thinking about what is next, or what is my top 5. But next here is my Red Heart. So I have the 6 that my dad gave me when I was a kid. I have since sold this SGC 7, and at the National this last year, I sold a beautiful PSA 8, but this will always stay in my collection. It just came to a point that I really didn't need 4. It seemed kind of silly. Next is my ultra rare, the Indianapolis Joe Jackson 1916. There's only 2 of these known. This is the highest grade. There's a 3. At one point, this was the only known of the Indianapolis Brewing backs of the M101 series. And I remember when I paid for this, I remember when I bought this, I think it was the most I'd ever paid for a card, which makes you squirm a little bit, but it's obviously markedly increased in value from back then. Next, my E93 Standard Caramel Mathewson. Here's all the players. I love this card. These are just my favorites. That's favorites in my collection. I just love this card. Love this card. It's a beauty. Let me see where we're at here. I don't know where we're at. Like 13 or something like that. My Green Cobb. I kind of want to get this into a newer SGC holder, but this card is so beautiful, and the corners are pretty good, and just the green is solid and not speckly. It's got great registration that I'm afraid to what's the purpose? It is what it is. And okay, next, my 68 3D Clemente. And when I bought this, it's the blank back. When I bought it, the only problem with it that I see, this stuff over here is actually on the outer wrapper, but just up in this corner here, just how it happens with some of those 3D cards where you get a little cracking. So that's the problem with it. Otherwise, it's beautiful. But anyway, I remember when I got this, I hadn't seen one in, God, so long. And then over the past few years, they're kind of coming out of the woodwork a little bit. I think probably because people are cashing in, I guess. I don't know. All right, are we to top 10 yet? I don't know, but here's my Collins McCarthy Joe Jackson. Love this card. Just one of my favorite cards, Joe Jackson and Collins McCarthy. It's the best card in the set except for the Ruth. Love it, love it. Next, my 54 Stallmeyer mantle in a 3. And 3 is a, not only, they made these Stallmeyers in 53, 54, 55. I like the 53s. They were kind of cream colored, not the yellow. But 54 is the lowest pop and lower print runs and most desirable. And to have a 3 is like insane. This is definitely one of my... Some of these cards may move in and out of my all-time favorites that I have, of all the cards I have. But this one will definitely always stay in. My Oxford Confectionery Ruth. I don't know if you've seen the video. I have the Ruth, the Cobb, the Walter Johnson. My Cobb's a 6. But this is a unique pose for any card for Ruth, or unique image. And I just love the Oxford. Some people don't like black and white cards, but I do. I so prefer a card like this over a Gaudi. It just, it's not even a question. Okay, my next, let me see where I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess this is number 7. And I'm going to show them all at once. It's my E98 Cobbs. I have the complete color run, and I just love these cards. These are some of my favorite cards. So I'm showing me, obviously, this is number 7. The blue, I just love the blue. This is graded a 4, which is like crazy overgraded, but whatever. I have the Matheson E98 in a green and a blue, and I've been looking for a red and an orange now for many years. You do see a red from time to time, and they're just really way over priced. Here's a card I love. Now, on the left is the 69 Top Super. 69 Top Supers were really test issues. You remember the football glossies that are this size, and then the supers that came out for baseball in 70, 71 that are big. Anyway, here's the mantle. This isn't the favorite. Here's my favorite because it is the proof of this card, the only one in existence. You can see it's square. I think that there's another one on an uncut sheet. This obviously came from a sheet, but as far as the square or proof, it is the only one that I'm aware of in existence. Maybe there's one more. But I just, ooh, man, it's mantle, 69 Top Super, and it is the only known proof. Seriously love looking at that. Here we go. I'm top. That was 5. This must be 4. Is my Orange Borders Cobb. It's probably one of the nicer ones out there, to be honest with you. I have the Matheson as well in a 3. Hand cuts, I saw some conversation about, I think that hand cut cards should have a number and be labeled hand cut. And of course should be hand cut. Okay, number 3. My 1910 Young Candy Matheson. Talked about this before. I've never seen one like this ever. This is definitely the only one in existence that I'm aware of. So this is, usually you see just the card. It's very, very rare to see the base pass. But to see this whole panel here is insane. It's like one of my favorite cards, for sure. And it's just one to show that the value compared to some of these that were down the line is not there. It's just my favorite. I just love this card. Shout out to Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards, who's the only other person who truly understands. Okay, now my top two. Can you guess? Number 2 is my 15 Cracker Jack Jackson. It goes with the story. It was ripped in half by my girlfriend decades ago. My dad got it stored. You can see that it was restored and put back together like Humpty Dumpty. But it's really hard to see. You can see here the little on the edge here where the border is, but you really, and across his forehead it looks a little funky. I don't know if you'd notice, but anyway, I had a video on it, my favorite video I ever made. I think it's I Restored, or Why Did I Restore, or something, 15 Joe Jacks. It's my favorite video I ever made. That's number 2. And number 1, you guessed it, I'm pretty sure you guessed it, is my 49 Leaf page. It's currently my favorite card in my collection. It is a 1 because there are no creases, but there's some like microscopic little wrinkle coming through his cap here. Otherwise, it looks damn good. Registration for a 49 Leaf page is, I would say, on the excellent side. And the centering, who gives a shit? That's it. That is my top 20 favorite vintage baseball cards currently in my collection. Thanks for watching.